Everybody, welcome back to the Two Talking Fools podcast. This is our second episode of our passion project, the people of Stafford. And it is with great pleasure and honor to say that we're sitting in the home and with Nancy Dutton. Nancy,
hello.
Thank you for taking the time to do this interview with us.
Well, I think I should thank you for thinking enough of me to think that I can give you an interview on whatever.
Well, Nance, you're our favorite little fiery redhead. We wouldn't pass up this opportunity at all.
Oh, you could, and you have to view it as an opportunity in order for it to be an opportunity. Otherwise, it's just here we are.
Yeah.
Blah blah.
So wise.
But I think it's your attitude, and I see this all the time when I watch you. It's your attitude toward the people that you work with, and making them believe that it is an opportunity for you. I mean, you turned it in and made all these people feel wonderful about themselves in so many ways. Otherwise, they'd just be what?
Right.
Thanks, Neil.
And you're the people that do that.
Thank you.
And not everyone can do that.
Thank you, Nance.
Thank you. That means a lot.
It's absolutely the way it is. Yeah. And you're masterful at your questions, and you have humor in it, which is good. It isn't all, dry.
Right.
And, your smiley faces, and you have fun with yourselves. If nobody else laughs,
to hell with it. At least we're laughing.
Exactly. You're having a good time. And I think it's very apparent that you enjoy what you're doing. And besides, you're meeting people too. In a different set of circumstances. I mean, how often would you come in my house and we'd look at clocks and talk about how to wind them and other things? And
this is true.
No, I mean, the last time I was in this house, I think, was for one of the famous Christmas parties.
Oh,
right. Think, I think that's the last time.
And the last time I was here, I think, was your birthday.
That's right. I had my birthday balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your birthday.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's beautiful though, and it's nice to be able to be in this intimate space, especially when we're talking to a lot of the people that have contributed so much to Stafford. Because we want it to be comfortable and authentic, and just we don't want it to, we're not, neither Kate and I can be put into a box, right? So we just want everything to just be genuine, authentic, and laid back.
Yeah.
That's what we're about.
I think it's interesting in Stafford where, people came to the springs to get healthy. And oftentimes I've been down by the springs and they smell pretty unhealthy. So that kind of health is kind of interesting to me. I don't think I would choose to go to a place that smelled like sulfur to get healthy. I would say, because that would affect me before it had an opportunity to get into my body to be healthy.
Yeah. I remember us taking a picture there, Nance. Yeah. And it smelled like sulfur.
Yeah.
Who knows though? All those years up at the WIT school, even up at the Stafford Middle School, the water is full of iron. Who knows?
I know.
Could end up being quite healthy for us, just like eating out of a cast iron pan.
Right. I know. I have my cast iron pans. I use all the time. My frying pans.
The best.
The best. Is it the best?
The best. Yeah.
Maybe do a tour of my pot closet.
I would love to do. I would do any tour of anything you wanted to show us.
Absolutely.
Because I just find being in a home like this, not that I'm prying into, but it's just every corner there's like a story.
There is. Even the attic. But we can't go to the attic this far. You wouldn't be able to get through. No, you can. The middle part of the attic is nice, and then the far side of the attic has a built-in cedar closet, and there's stuff in there. A lot of Bruce's stuff that I need to get rid of that I haven't. It's just hanging up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to give it to the thrift shop and see people walking all over town in Bruce's clothes.
No, doesn't
feel
right.
No,
doesn't.
So I have to figure out what to do with them. I could take them into the city when I go or something, maybe, or give them to, I don't know.
Yeah. I want to start with how did you I guess, how did you get, what was your first experience with Stafford?
Um, I was working on my PhD at the University of Connecticut, and I had met Bruce at Harvard. And then I don't know who it was that told me Jerry Morrissey, who was a principal, had gone to Norwich Free Academy for something and saw Bruce and wanted to hire him on the spot. So, in order to entice him, he offered him a department chair job.
Okay.
And Bruce hadn't been a department chair; he was teaching at Norwich Free Academy, and decided, oh, I'll try that. In the meantime, I think he was working on. He had originally had his PhD when he first came from Harvard, and then he got another PhD at UConn. And then he has another PhD some other place, I don't know. Maybe it was Central Connecticut, or I don't know. And the only reason why he got another PhD there is because Randall was in graduate school and wanted to take courses there for something that UConn didn't offer.
So he went with him.
Mm.
Oh, I love that. What did you both what did you both study at Harvard? What did you get your PhDs in?
In curriculum and instruction, and I originally was in curriculum and instruction exclusively for the gifted, because that's when the gifted were the gifted and blah blah. Now we don't have gifted anymore. Everybody's whatever. We lump them all together.
So you went to Harvard too.
Yeah.
Wow, never knew that. I never knew that about either of you.
And what did Bruce get his PhD in?
He got it in curriculum and instruction and history, another PhD in history, and I don't know what the other one is. But he couldn't get anything else. I mean, you can't get a 6-year, you can't get a this or that. So,
where were you born, Nancy?
In New York City.
New York City.
New York City. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, I came from New York City, and then from when New York City, we were on the 76th Street, 72nd Street, 74th. Anyway, we moved to Westchester because my parents didn't want me in the school system in New York, no matter if it was public or private or anything. And Westchester had an incredible. They had Fox Lane, which was a good school system, but in the house in Katona, I went to John Jay, and that was pretty exclusive and amazing courses and curriculum, etc.
What was your parents' aspect on New York City, the school system, both public and private? They obviously didn't care for it.
They just thought that it would be better to be in the Westchester environment, which is much more exclusive, I guess.
Understood. Yeah.
I don't know if that's understood, but I like an eclectic environment.
Okay.
That's me. And I hang out with everybody. And they didn't want me hanging out with everybody, so.
Your parents didn't?
No.
Okay.
But I cried for days, maybe weeks, when we moved up to Katona, because I was used to walking out the door in New York and going anywhere.
Anywhere.
I was 10 on the subway, riding the subway, doing this and that. And then all of a sudden, I can't go anywhere. Here we have 2.5 acres of land. Who needs that? And dogs, and I had a horse, and I didn't want any of that stuff.
Such a huge adjustment.
I know.
Was it a big adjustment going from New York City to Winchester County?
To Westchester?
Or
Yeah.
Westchester County? That was.
Yeah, because I couldn't walk out the door and go anywhere. Where am I going to go?
Yeah.
I have to be driven everywhere or walk.
So then you are in school. You meet Bruce. How do you end up in Stafford Springs?
Bruce was in Stafford because he was at Norwich Free Academy, and the principal at this school wanted him in the system.
Mm-hmm.
So he offered him a job that he refused, and then he offered him a department chair job, and he thought that would be good.
But he was already living in Stafford.
No, he was
Okay.
in Norwich. And then I don't know how he found this house, but he saw it. It was for sale. Oh, Charlie Fitz had it with about 6 or 7 kids, and it was for sale. So he walked in and talked to Charlie, and whatever the price was, Bruce said, well, I can't afford that. And Charlie said, well, give me a down payment of $3,000 or $5,000 and you can pay for the rest of your life and it's yours. And that's how it happened.
Wow, this was your first house.
Yeah,
A lot of memories.
I know.
How was Stafford? So when you were here, when you bought this house, what year was that? Oh, roughly. I shouldn't.
68 or 70.
What was Stafford like at that time?
Oh, I didn't know anybody in Stafford, and I thought people were very unfriendly, uncosmopolitan, and they didn't know their ass from their elbow. No, I never
Yep.
met people like this. It was like, are you kidding me?
Which is funny coming from New York City, where a lot of times you just assume that people are snotty and don't give a shit. But here you felt.
I know.
You felt.
The first person that I met that I thought had some brains at all was your father.
Really?
Yeah, not your mother, your father, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because we would have some good conversations, and he was always testy on them.
Yeah. Yeah. How interesting.
I mean, Bruce got sent home from school because he went in a turtleneck and he didn't have a tie, so he came home and made a tie out of a carrot and went back to school, and Jerry Morrison suspended him for 2 weeks.
That sounds like Bruce. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think Bruce made not even $4,000 a year with a PhD as a teacher here in the high school.
That's incredible. It is. Not just in the sense that
right, having your doctorate, making $4,000 a year.
Bruce could have taught many places.
Yeah.
Is that safe to assume? What do you think? What made him say, "Forget all that. I'm just going to teach at good old Stafford High"?
Because I think he thought the kids weren't getting any kind of an education, and he wanted to educate them, or at least try. Yeah. I think that was basically what. Yeah.
Let's go back to you for a second, because you're a teacher. So tell us, you've had a long career.
I know.
Can we reflect on that a bit?
Yeah, we can. I love teaching. I taught the worst when I was in Leicester, in Massachusetts. I had some of the absolute worst kids in the school because nobody else could teach them. And the superintendent now, because he was a student of mine and so was his wife, that I fixed up and made him take her to the junior prom, and they got married now, and they're married. Yeah. Anyway, we talk about, the impetus that I had in getting kids to do certain things. At my kids, you walked in my room and it was a scandal because the kids were up and walking around and they were looking out the window, and some were sitting on the floor and some were sitting in the hallway, and anybody else probably would have fired me. But the kids were all on task. And my principal now said, in all the years that I've been here and talk about you, etc., everyone tried to find something bad about your teaching or bad about something, and no one could ever find anything. Even with the kids in the hallway and blah blah blah, they were always talking about education. But there was a lot of movement in my room. I didn't have everybody just sitting there. And then I made kids go talk to people that they never talked to before, who would never talk to before, and I would give them a name. You go and talk to her, or you go and talk to him. Are you kidding me? And I said, of course I'm not kidding you. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So what am I going to talk about? I said, I don't know. You're going to find out what you're going to talk about. You're going to go up and say, the teacher is making me talk to you, and I never talk to you. And I probably don't even have a clue what to say to you.
Yeah. You just wanted them to start talking, thinking, engaging.
Yeah. Getting out of their comfort zone. Yeah.
I know. I was always pushing them out of their comfort zone. Not bad out there, is it?
No.
No, I think that's a beautiful thing. I remember when it was around the time that you had retired, I was working for a gentleman who had known you. It was like 6 degrees of separation. And there were quite a few students that you had had a tremendous impact on, even with the stories that you had told. A lot of students that had respected you, and I even remember them leaving a lot of comments thanking you for the impact that you had had on them, the onions. So you did a lot right.
Well,
You did quite a bit right.
we did right and wrong both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'm stirring the pot here with this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Nancy, if you could, how many years have you taught in your career?
Probably 30. I don't know. At least, I would think.
If you had to give some like suggestions to new teachers or teachers in this day and age with with all of your just experience with it, what would be some suggestions that you would have?
I would say stop trying to teach to the tests that you think kids have to pass, standardized tests, because if you're doing a good job teaching, they're going to pass it anyway. And stop focusing on that, and just have the kids be critical thinkers. If you give them a book to read, ask them when they finish reading it, why do you think I gave you this book? And if the kid hates the book, say, why do you hate it? What's wrong with this book? Let's look at the language in it. Is it the language that you object to? Is it the storyline? Make sure you understand why you don't like it. It's not enough not to like something. You have to know why you don't like it. And if you can't figure it out, then obviously you like it.
Right.
Only you don't want to admit it. Or maybe everybody else thinks you shouldn't like it. And so therefore you're afraid to say, I like it. I said, there's no matter what you read or what you do, etc., there's good and bad. So, you find out all the bad things. Why not look and see what you can find for good things?
Right.
Because there's two sides of it always.
Yep.
And if it doesn't work for you, why doesn't it work for you? And if it does, and if it doesn't work for you, who do you think this book would work for? Who's going to like this book? I mean, it's been around. Why do you think it's here? I mean, why do you think it's, the AP office ranks it number whatever? Figure out why.
Right.
Not because you don't like it, because that's not enough to say you don't like it or you like it. Figure out why you don't like it, why you like it, or why you think it has the rating it has, if it's a top rating.
Right.
Climb into the head of the other person. You can't do that. Yes, you can. If you're a critical thinker, you can, because you're going to try to figure out how this person is thinking, which is different from the way you're thinking. What are they seeing that you're not seeing? And then what are they not seeing that you do see? It goes both ways. And I said, you're once you figure all those things out, you're going to talk to people about it. I don't want to hear it all. Talk to this person. I don't want to talk. I said, well, I don't care what you want to do. In life, I'm teaching you to do the things in life that you're going to have to do that you don't want to do.
Right.
And if you don't remember me for anything else, remember me for the bitch that I was.
I will be writing that down.
You're going to use that sometime?
Yep.
Well, it's true.
Do you stay in contact with a lot of your students?
They stay in contact with me a lot. As a matter of fact, Kim Carr comes to visit me about every Friday night.
I love that.
Oh, I love Kim. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was a student of yours.
Oh.
And she's in Stafford Springs. Look
Yeah.
at that.
She's not in Enfield. No, not Stafford.
Kim?
She doesn't live in Stafford.
Oh, she doesn't live in Stafford?
No.
I need to add the whoa part. I love that. We need to save that. Nance. So you're an incredibly intelligent woman who invested a lot of time into teaching, into your students, into your passion of education. Besides that, what else makes Nancy Nancy? What do you like to do for hobbies? What else are you involved in?
Oh, I like to do. Um, I like involvement with the Arts Commission.
Here in
Ex-
town?
yes, except that it seems like I bet my head against the wall all the time because I'm talking about art in many forms and not just, the art down that hangs down in the park or whatever, but, art in terms of theater, art in terms of, you know, your view on something. And, it's like I'm talking to the wall, an artist. What are they talking about? What do you mean artistic view? I said, well, when you look at art, you want to analyze what makes that picture work for you or not work for you. And I said, then apply that artistic view to relationships. Why is this relationship work and that doesn't? When you're on the Arts Commission and we have a meeting and somebody gets a little bit cantankerous, how do you feel about that? Why don't you, if you don't like it, why don't you deal with it now when it's happening and say, I find that offensive. And then somebody will say, well, tough shit or whatever. But anyway, you can respond to it. But if you hold all these things inside and don't deal with them directly, etc. And I said, maybe if our Arts Commission meeting is being taped, you don't want to do that. You can say, could you shut the tape off or whatever for a minute so I can say what I'd like to say?
Sure. And besides the art commission, what else do you like to do?
I like to run. I like to go down. Well, I used to go up to this track, but now I go down to the Tolland track and walk or run.
Good for you. How old was Mr. Dutton when he stopped playing hockey?
82. And that's because he got a 46-year-old knocked him down and wrecked him for the rest of his life, seriously, on the back of his head. And the 46-year-old shouldn't have even been playing. But you can't, what are you going to do? You can't do anything. I mean, because there's nobody there to say whether you can play or not play when you're playing.
Right. Right.
Bruce would show up to church with like bruises sometimes. And we'd be like, Bruce, what happened? Hockey. Hockey. He
It
was
was,
he was still what? He was still going up and working on the clock tower until what age?
oh my God, 80, maybe older.
I'm complaining about my knees at 40.
In church, he'd go up there. Well, in the first place, he was thin enough to go, and Randall. Stu
Yeah.
Klotzer eventually went up, but he had a bad time get his body in there where it needed to get.
Mm.
Speaking of Stu, I haven't seen him in a while. Never mind Sandy.
I saw him at Big Y.
Stu?
Mhm.
Both of them?
No, just Stu.
Just Stu?
He said hi. Yeah, he came over to say hi to myself and Nessa.
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so you were talking about Bruce liking hockey. Nancy, you love to walk and you're part of the arts commission. But Bruce also had a lot to do with the historical society
Yeah, loved
here
it.
in town as
Mm.
well too. Can you talk a little bit about what it was Bruce did? Because he was like almost like the town historian in a way.
Oh, he was, definitely. And he used to find out the history of anything he could find history on and then write it up and then put it down in the historical society. And I don't even know where all that information is. I have a little of it, but not a lot of it. And then the computer that he used to type on, I can't even get stuff up on it.
Oh, I would love to see what he wrote on that computer.
I know.
Bruce?
I have it. Someday we'll work on it.
That would be so neat.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
That would be, yeah, just the way his mind was constantly thinking. Um, didn't he write a book, or didn't he write a book about Stafford or something?
Oh, I think he wrote 10.
About Stafford Springs?
Mm-hmm. They should be down in the library. No, they were down in the Historical Society.
I remember hearing something about that. Yeah, I remember hearing something about that.
I definitely knew there was a book. I didn't realize that I had no idea that there was 10, or even multiple. That's pretty interesting. This is a random question, but at the end of the night, when you guys were home from work and whatnot, what did a typical night look like for you and Bruce? Were you guys sitting here were you each reading a book maybe, or were you talking or watching
No, usually, well,
TV?
we ate dinner, then he'd come in and sit here, and I'd do the dishes or whatever, and then we'd sit here and talk about this, that, and then we'd turn on the news, analyze the news or whatever, or then he might put on a hockey game, or basically.
Whatever. Okay.
Who
Yeah.
was his favorite hockey team?
I want to say the Bruins, but I'm not sure.
We'll stick with that. I'm just curious.
Your favorite team too?
Yeah.
Well, he used to go. He knew a lot of players at the Bruins. I don't even know how that all came about. Maybe because he was 1,000 years old playing hockey. Or whatever.
Everybody knew him. You know that guy, Bruce Dutton? You know that one that's still playing, that guy? Yeah.
Well, mostly what they knew about Bruce is that Bruce Dutton had a PhD, but he was a hockey player, and those two things didn't go together. You can't have any brains, I guess, and play hockey.
No,
But
that's
he was
what they say
also a
anyway.
singer, though, too.
What?
He was also a phenomenal singer, too, right?
Well, he was an unbelievable skier. Yeah.
Singer?
Skier.
Skier, too?
Oh, what did you say? Singer?
Singer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But he earned a lot of his tuition for Harvard by singing Gregorian chant in the Boston Catholic Church.
Really?
Yeah. How's that?
That's how he earned a lot of his tuition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. I love that.
I never knew that.
Nance.
I'm trying to think of what that sounds like. I can't even imagine. I don't know if I've ever heard Bruce sing. I suppose no. I think if I go way back, maybe in high school.
Because he sang in church a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
solos.
Amazing. Very, very deep voice. Absolutely beautiful. I didn't do that. If somebody asked you, what do you think Bruce's legacy to Stafford was, what would your answer be?
The hockey rink.
What about the hockey rink?
Well, he built the hockey rink.
The one we have here in town, Bruce built it? I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, the
I
one
was
out by
waiting for
the
you to look at me, give me a look.
No, I'm taking notes too.
No, seriously.
yeah, the one out by the cemetery.
Yeah. Out by the American Legion, yeah. So Bruce is the one who started that.
Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So the kids would have a place to skate.
Nance, I love that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are using that, you know.
Oh, to this day, everybody,
Yeah.
it's a great place. In fact,
It's a
I
big
just went
deal.
down there for the first time. It was either this year or last year. Great to see kids, adults, everybody just having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that many of us would say that Mr. Dunn was a difficult teacher. Many of us joke about how we barely got by that class. I think he gave us a couple grace points in there. I know I was always fearful, but I think, like you said, I think what he wanted for all of us was just to think. I think that's it. He just wanted us to think
Yeah.
outside the box instead of just regurgitating something that we read in the damn book. Think
Yeah.
for yourself. Give me a reason. And maybe that's the
Ask
reason why we
questions.
struggled so
Yeah.
much, is because we just weren't critical thinkers.
Yep.
And besides, critical thinking wasn't what you did. Jerry Morrissey tried to fire him. I don't know how many times for that critical thinking crap.
But we all need that critical thinking skill. You use it in every part of your life,
I
every
know.
aspect, but you don't always maybe even think about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I know for a fact people don't do
For
enough
sure.
critical thinking.
For sure.
I'm sure I don't do enough critical thinking.
Sure. Same.
And that's probably one way that
Same.
you can continue on Mr. Dutton's legacy is just by doing what he always wanted us to do, is just to be a
Yeah.
critical thinker. But it sounds like that's what you taught. That's how you were as a teacher too. Is
I always was. Yeah.
so you both had that same mindset. Was that something you both got at Harvard, or was it just the way you were brought up?
No,
or
it was
raised, or-
just the way I was brought up, I guess.
yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about your family?
Yeah. Well, we moved from New York City into Westchester. We had 2.5 acres of land with the property, which is the most land in the town of Katona. And how that came about, I'm not even sure. My father died when he was 40 something because he had a serious injury to the back of his neck. He was, I don't know what he was doing, playing some sport, and somebody stepped on the back of his neck when we had fallen down. I don't know what happened anyway, but and so he died fairly early.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then I had, a horse. Well, we had 2 horses, and one of them went to the ring in North Salem, Paterno's ring, and the other one I kept because I like to ride in the field, and then I would put that horse, Chips, up there in the summer. I had Chips and Queenie. Both of them were there, but they were incredible horses, and so therefore my horse could stay there for nothing because I had these 2 horses that kids could ride, and they were disciplined, and yeah. So that was, my summers with my horses.
Any siblings?
I had a brother who died in an automobile crash. He was driving home, just ready to turn into the driveway, and some guy hit him.
I'm sorry, Nance.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Do you even now to this day, do you feel like a natural, like do you feel like New York City is always a part of you?
I think so, yeah. Only because I know it. And I know it, I can walk it well, and etc. So if I didn't know it as well as I know, I know Fifth Avenue and walking up to 60th Street because I taught at Fordham Law School in the summers. I taught brief writing to graduated attorneys because they couldn't write a brief. Imagine that. And then I would I'd bring them into court every day, and I would present the brief, and then for the judge, and then the judge would listen to them. So that's what I did for a number of years.
Do you still go to the city like every now and again, or
Yeah,
frequently?
do. Not frequently, not enough.
But every now and again.
And I probably should get back into maybe teaching at Fordham Law School again or whatever. I know my kids would hate it. They wouldn't want me doing that, but they're not in charge of what I do and don't do.
No,
Sorry.
that's right. Sorry, guys.
I'm not contributing to this conversation. Randall and Rebecca, I did not say a word.
Did you know that you wanted to be a teacher early on, like when you were little? Did you know?
No, I thought I was going to be a doctor. I don't know why I thought that. And then I didn't go into medical school because I couldn't afford it. It was too expensive at the time, and my mother wasn't giving me, I don't know, that was a whole whatever.
Teaching though, like the way you talk about it is like a lot of people that come out of the military and you ask them, would you go back? And they're like, in a heartbeat, if I could. But for you, it sounds like teaching, you would go back. You would still
I
teach
would.
today.
That's your passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of you forever.
I know, because Morgan said to me, Grammy, you need to come in and teach my fourth grade or my third grade class because my teacher doesn't know anything. I said, I bet she knows a lot. Well, she said she doesn't because I ask her these questions she doesn't even know.
That is your mini. Oh my goodness.
She's a little critical thinker.
That is a miniature Nancy through and through. I love it. Nance, if you could leave behind, if you could leave behind any legacy, what would you want it to be for your children and your grandchildren?
Oh, just be, you know, good thinkers, be compassionate, be understanding. Don't make judgments until you know a lot of information about what you're judging. Don't be quick to judge, not openly at any rate. And always have somebody that you can think that you can dialogue with about anything, which I don't have. I mean, Bruce was my big dialoguer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you could say anything to or make a wish for the town of Stafford, what would it be?
I would wish that people would be more compassionate, more understanding, and be at meetings, not be critical, but be open with genuine concerns and not because you want to bitch and moan.
I feel like a lot of people go or they just want to bitch, they just want to moan, and they don't necessarily want to come up with any type of I don't know, type of a not agreement, but type of decision or anything. People just want to
But I think
naturally
instead
complain.
of bitching and moaning, you ought to say, okay, this issue has come to the forefront in conversations that I've had, and I would like to say and make it a positive thing and say, I think this is a good issue. I think we should all understand why it's an issue, and maybe collectively we can make some decisions on how it might help our community or whatever.
You said what you just did there. We can't do that because people. We should. That's critical thinking. That's coming together. But most people are so. I'm on this side. I'm on that side, and they can't see.
Well, I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that people, unfortunately, are uncomfortable with having what they consider to be uncomfortable conversations. You know what I mean? You have a lot of, you have Stafford that's a very small town, but you have a lot of different organizations and committees and areas that all contribute to how the town is ran. And if people are uncomfortable with having those tough conversations, then that's a problem. Somebody
They
that I know,
shouldn't. A conversation, no matter what it is, has a level of difficulty. I don't
correct,
care what it is.
correct,
And I
absolutely,
think you should understand the nature of a conversation, if it is a
absolutely,
conversation.
absolutely,
And then if it becomes difficult, that's a good thing because it means that you're thinking critically about something that you never thought critically about. You didn't understand it the way this other person is understanding it, and
yeah.
just constantly put a positive spin on it.
I was going to say
No
somebody else said that.
negativity.
Yep, yeah, exactly. No negativity, but hearing a part,
Yeah.
a part of a
And I
conversation,
think
or
you
yeah,
can say
that you might
that
not
too
agree with.
when you talk to people. Just say, there are parts of this conversation that might be difficult because either you haven't thought about kind of viewpoint that we're going to present, or maybe you automatically say, oh my God, I don't agree with that at all. But think about it in a critical way and try to climb into somebody else's shoes and see if you can see that viewpoint.
Absolutely,
And if you can't, ask,
absolutely.
and it will make it positive and you'll feel good about it, and somebody else will feel good about it, and there'll be no negativity. Because the minute you get negativity in conversations, it brings the conversation to a certain point where nothing positive can be established or is established.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So we did, we covered a lot about you. We touched on, a lot about Bruce as well. And the neat thing about the People of Stafford project is, we're having conversations with a multitude of different individuals and their families that have contributed. I can never say that word, guys. Contributed tremendously to Stafford. And your family has hugely contributed to the town of Stafford in a lot of different avenues, whether it's, the history of the town, within one of the churches, different committees, things like that. Taking the time to sit with us and allow us to ask you these questions. I don't want to wrap up just yet. Was there anything else? Any questions that you had?
You should say, "Where's dinner?"
Yeah.
I have muffins out there
Oh
that I
gosh.
made 2 kinds.
Oh, you made them?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely having one because I've had your muffins. Yeah, definitely having one of those. Nance, do you have any questions for us? Let's put a spin on it. Any questions that you might have for the two talking fools?
Yes, Nance, do you have any questions?
Listen, I
Put her
love
right on the
Nance
spot. Do you have
because
any questions?
no,
for-
she will get me sometimes. Some of the questions that Nance asks me,
What
I
are
just
these
look at
2
her.
talking fools? Why did you come up with that as a way to tag yourselves?
Yeah, so that's actually very good. Thank you for asking that. You and I,
Yep.
we started dancing, right?
Just randomly.
We were starting to just
Yeah,
dance.
Nance, just for
you
fun.
know?
In the
Just
hallway, in the
at the
street.
town hall.
Well, all over. And
Yeah.
Police station, town hall.
we said to ourselves, well, we can't, how long can we keep doing this? It was getting to be a lot. Then it was getting cold and things like that. And we said, we talk every day on the phone. In the morning, quick before work, we talk. So we said, why don't we just
Do a podcast.
start a podcast? I've
Yeah.
had one before,
Yep.
and I liked it. And she's like, let's do it.
Yeah,
And
that'd be fun. And then your brother pulled up.
oh yeah, and then my brother Johnny pulls up, and
He did at Cumberland Farms.
and he goes, oh,
JPJ, we love you, buddy.
yeah, we love you. And he goes, you two fools.
And we were like, oh my goodness.
We go, that's it.
The two talking
we're the
fools.
two
Yeah.
talking fools. Yeah, no, I just thank you for sitting with us, Nancy.
Yeah,
it's
thank you,
good.
Nance.
It's
You're the
just
best.
nice
I love you.
talking to you and learning about you. And
I think you should come more often. We can not only talk about, things that might be appropriate for your podcast, but other things.
we don't even have to talk on this thing. We can just come on.
Yeah, we can
over
just
and-
come hang
You
out with you.
can.
Yeah, that's right.
That
Yeah,
would be fun.
yeah.
That'd be fun.
Everybody, so this was our second episode with Nancy Dutton and Get to Reflect with her and Bruce. You can follow us on the twotalkingfools.com website and follow us on YouTube, all major platforms.
Leave those reviews.
Leave the reviews. Nancy, thank you very much.
Thanks, Nance.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Nance. Thank you.
It's